Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today's topic is clauses, which is a very important part of English grammar. We will discuss its definition, types, and examples in a very simple way. This is a group of words that has a subject and a verb. Clause can give a complete idea or give an incomplete idea. Clauses are basically building blocks of sentences. We use them to create meaningful sentences. For example, if we say a complete clause, then we can, let's suppose she is reading, and if we say because she is reading, it is incomplete. Independent clauses. So an independent clause is the basic building block of English sentences. It is called independent because it can stand alone and still make complete sense like a full sentence. An independent clause is a group of words that has a subject, a verb, and a complete meaning. So it expresses a full idea, not a half or unfinished thought. It is a complete sentence. It does not depend on any other clause. For example, Ali is studying. It always has a subject and a verb. Like in this sentence, subject is Ali and verb is studying. It can stand alone. You can write it as a full sentence and it will still make sense. It can be joined with other independent clause, and we use conjunctions for it. Like we use and, but, or Ali is studying and Sarah is reading. It is the best example of it. Now we see at the other type of clause, that is a dependent clause. So dependent clause, also called as subordinate clause, is a group of words that has a subject and a verb, but it cannot stand alone as a complete sentence because it does not express a full or complete idea. It depends on another sentence and mostly on independent clause to make a sense. A dependent clause usually starts with subordinating words such as because, although, if, when, since, while, after, or before. These words make the meaning incomplete and show that more information is coming. For example, in the sentence because she was tired, we understand who we are talking about and what the action is, but the idea feels unfinished. We don't know what happened because she was tired. That is why it needs another part, like she wants to sleep early, to become a complete sentence. Because she was tired, she went to sleep early. So a dependent clause always works like a supporting part of a sentence, not the main part. It cannot be written alone because it leaves the reader waiting for more. Now we see at the types of dependent clauses. Dependent clauses are group of words that is a subject and a verb but cannot stand alone as a complete sentence because they do not express a full meaning on their own. They depend on a main independent clause to make sense. There are mainly three types of dependent clauses. The first one is noun clause. Noun clauses act like a noun in a sentence, meaning they can be a subject, object, or a complement. For example, in the sentence, what she said surprised me, the clause what she said works as a subject. Second, adjective clauses. Adjective clauses basically describe or give more information about a noun, just like an adjective does. And they usually start with words like who, which, or that. For example, the book that I read was great, where that I read describes the book. Third one is the adverb clauses. So adverb clauses modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs and tell us about time, reason, condition, or contrast. Often starting with words like because, although, or when, such as in sentence we stayed inside because it rained, where the clause because it rained explains the reason. Together, these clauses help make sentences more detailed, meaningful, and expressive by adding extra information in different ways. Now we look at how clauses build meaning. So clauses are building blocks of meaning in a sentence and they help us organize ideas in a clear and logical way. A clause always contains a subject and a verb, but its role in communication depends on whether it is independent or dependent. An independent clause expresses a full idea, so it can stand alone as a complete sentence like she went home. A dependent clause, on the other hand, cannot stand alone because it leaves the meaning unfinished, such as because she was tired. When we combine these clauses, meaning becomes richer and become more detailed. Clauses build meaning by showing relationships between ideas. For example, they can show reason, time, condition, contrast, or description. Instead of giving short separate sentences, clauses allow us to connect thoughts smoothly. For instance, she went home because she was tired combines two ideas, action she went home and the reason because she was tired. Without the dependent clause, we would lose the explanation behind the action. This is how clauses add depth to the meaning. Different types of dependent clauses add different layers of meaning. Noun clauses help us talk about ideas and information as things like "and what he said was true," where the clause becomes the subject. Adjective clauses give extra detail about nouns, helping the listener understand exactly which person or thing we are talking about, such as "the girl who won the prize is my friend." Adverb clauses explain circumstances like time or reason, such as "I left early because I was tired," which explains why things happened. Each type plays a different role in expanding meaning. Now, this slide explains how to form a complex sentence using a real world example. The sentence is, "When I study grammar, I become a better writer." Here, "when I study grammar" is a dependent clause because it cannot stand alone and needs the rest of the sentence to make complete sense. "I become a better writer" is an independent clause because it expresses a complete thought by itself. When you join a dependent clause with an independent clause, it creates a complex sentence that shows a clear cause-effect relationship and gives the idea a logical connection.